Sorry about that.
No, that's cool. No, hey everybody.
I hit the button. I hit the button inadvertent. Well, I was about to, but I wasn't ready. Hey, having a little lunch today. I don't know if you guys can see it with the background. Oh, you can't see it. I got to put it back here. You can't see it. It's
Dude,
it's the invisible food.
You got the Moulin Rouge background up instead. I don't know if
like
you want to be...
zero sugar, spicy jalapeno,
kale strips,
like beef sticks.
Mm.
Yeah, smoked sausages made with beef and pork.
There you go.
No sugar.
No sugar, though. Yeah, excellent.
They're spicy too. They're good.
Good for you, man. Always looking out.
Aldi.
I'm drinking my miso soup here.
Oh,
doing my part. Yeah.
You're very Asian, Joe.
Well, well, not really, but I did spend part of my childhood there, like a whole year when I was 2. Was in the islands south of Japan. So I probably got a little of it there, but I just love Asian food and Southeast Asia in particular.
My mom's dad, my grandfather was a engineer for the Air Force.
Yeah.
And designed one of the Big Bertha bomb chutes. They had to design special chutes. Anyway, in the 60s, he was stationed in Japan. So my mom and my uncle, my grandmother and grandfather lived in Japan for 4 years. So
it's a fantastic country. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I read a lot of it. Yeah, I read a lot of the books. My daughter's into it too. But there were books. What were those, like historical narratives? I guess historical. It's not fiction, nonfiction narratives. Maybe the characters are, or some things, but it generally plays true to the history itself. But I want to say like Shogun by James Clavell. I think he also did Taipei, which I think that one's more about the Hong Kong families. But the first one, Shoguns, all the samurai stuff, basically, all the pre-samurai stuff.
Right.
So it gets into all the Japanese culture, when Europeans showed up and this and that. So they're really fascinating stories. And, of course, he's a Westerner who wrote it, but he did live there a lot. So I read a lot of books like that, a lot of, for like World War II history, things like that. Leon Uris was really good. Particularly remember reading Mila 18, a book about the Warsaw Ghetto. That was, super impressive. But he also wrote other books, like I think he wrote Topaz, which was, kind of a Cuban spy story. And there was another one in there called The Chameleon, but I can't remember who wrote that. But I always read all those books as a kid. So it gives you this sort of, kind of some history, foundational history, or, metaverse content, basically, for the Joe-verse. But yeah, I love pulling all that together just to look at what's going on today. We talk about this critical stuff, particularly like the Iranian stuff with the Russian stuff on top of the Ukrainian stuff. And, and then all the Mideast stuff, of course, over the last 20 years. Most of the time I was growing up, that was not, other than Iran and the Shah and the Israeli stuff, you really never even, thought about the Mideast. The Gulf states, let's say, or, Egypt, other than in the Israeli-Arab war prism. So that is kind of something sort of new, or a diversion, I think, for, geopolitics over the last 20 years. To me, it's always been about, Russia, Europe, and China, Japan, in my mind, and how those coalitions or how those actors play out. So, now when you look at what's going on, it seems to me it's sort of a lot of ways back to the last millennium.
Niblet says there is a great documentary about Jews fleeing Germany and arriving in Shanghai for the duration of World War II. My in-laws ended up in Mexico and Cuba and Patagonia. My wife has relatives in Patagonia area. So
wow.
Yeah.
Very interesting. I remember when I was doing a lot of the work in Shanghai that there was back during the I don't know, I guess colonial days when Shanghai was divided up into different quarters, like the French quarter, the British quarter, the German quarter. I think there was even an American quarter, but there was also like a Jewish quarter. Well, I guess that's too many quarters, but there was, it's like, but hey, that's no pun intended, buddy. That was just perfect. But the point is that it's a very respected part of Shanghai history. You love that one, man.
That was fucking great.
That just came out of nowhere.
But I liked both of the jokes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that was funny.
That was not intended. That was just came out. But the point is, you learn about that there was like whether you're in Tangiers or Sevilla or Shanghai, there were Jewish quarters or Jewish neighborhoods or Jewish sections, in all of these cities that, we sort of forget about that aren't there for the most part anymore. I think about like in Sevilla, the Santa Cruz neighborhood, that was the fun place, when I was doing that around the world or traveling thing, that was the fun place to go out and hang solo. Yeah. But, it's not the Jewish quarter anymore as it was at one point. And so I think it's fascinating just when you see that around the world as far as Shanghai. Chinese very much respect, the business Chinese very much respect the Jewish business culture and the Israeli business culture. You'll always run into like Israelis and stuff. So
Niblett said he thought Joe was going to tell us about meeting the Jewish refugees in Shanghai. Yeah, he actually greeted them. He was there greeting them. He was a young man, though. He was only in his 20s when.
I would go ahead and tell you the greeting I was using, but it would probably.
Shizzy says, loving Brad's background. You got that idea from Dracone. Great interview, by the way. Thanks, Shizzy. Yeah, everybody, new episode out today. Nick Dracone, who is a really brilliant trader, Joe. He is currently net neutral in his strategy. And he's primarily driven by the fact that he thinks corporate profits are going to be zilch for the foreseeable future. So really interesting strategy. Started off in professional poker, ended up in crypto, not an uncommon story in the crypto world, moved into hedge funds and equities. And then a bunch of people from poker owed him money and they started sending it to him as Bitcoin and he held on to it, got it when it was worth like 200, wrote it up to 10,000. And then at the peak of the ICO craze, he shorted everything except Bitcoin and Ethereum and made a shit ton of money. So we also talked about multiple passports, how he's done it, why he did it. He did it during COVID. He wanted to be able to cash out and get out and have bank accounts and passports in multiple places. So a lot of interesting stuff in there. He's a really great guy, really smart guy, and talks a lot about how he got started and all that good stuff. So, and he started a new project called Revello Intel, where he's actually hired a bunch of writers and they sit in. Well, this is one of 3 products that's coming. The first product's already out. It's free. You can get on their email list. It's revellointel.com. They have picked, I think it's 50 projects right now. They're going to expand that. But he's hired people to sit in on all of their AMAs and Google Spaces and podcasts and do summaries of what the projects are talking about. So he has people assigned to different projects in the space. So it's very cool. Cool project, cool episode. So check it out at missiondefi.com. Sean says, I'll have to send Joe the McDade's background pic. That'd be fun. That'd be good.
There you go. Yeah,
awesome.
I know.
Awesome.
Yeah, tell him to send a few Guinness with it. We need our sponsor.
There you go. There you go. Guinness. Yeah.
Sponsor us with beer, man. I'm fine with that.
Drink it then? I'm not such a big Guinness fan.
Trust me, it's, if you want to go like high fiber, low cal lunch, one Guinness is perfect. It reminds me of a joke. Okay, Sean, I'm sorry. Here it goes. I'm a quarter Irish, so I can get away with it.
Here we go.
It's probably everybody knows this one. What's an Irish 7-course meal?
I don't know.
Potato and a 6-pack. Remember, I'm Irish. I could do that. That's not racist.
Yeah, Joe. Yeah. Hey, I'm trying to load something up. You want to talk about something while I do it? Let's see. What do you want to talk about? Let's talk about. Oh, talk
Give me
about
something.
Opyn. Give me. Let's open up that.
Oh
one, 'cause
yeah.
that's
So
hold
you know,
on. I'll
I
get it
just ran
open.
into that somewhere, but it was an interesting kind of
Oh, I need to share screen.
yeah, ETH strategy revolving around like straddle options, easy to execute. Looked like it was a one button strategy. You know, you just parked ETH in it and they run it. But they've had, I believe, something like they were up 14% in dollar terms and up 42% in ETH terms since July. You know, while ETH has been down, I think 20% in that same period. So, you know,
look at that.
wow,
How did I do that?
Trippy. We just need some kind of like.
I guess I shared the wrong screen.
Do you
All
have
right,
like
let's
one of
try
those
that
like
again.
glow sticks you could spin for us? But I thought it was a good
Let's try this
example of
again.
a
There we go.
strategy where, you know, when we're always trying to diversify and, you know, have a risk adjusted, you know, portfolio, that, you know, things like this could make sense.
Yeah, and this was like buying and selling long and short options, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And kind of going, you know,
automating it. You just dump the ETH in and they fucking do it for
and
you.
they execute for you. Yeah. I mean,
awesome.
so look, you got to stay on top of these, but think about it. If you, like, I was kind of working on my top 10 and I was starting to weight them now, like, you know, and I put BTC and ETH back in the top 10, just, you know, because how can you do it without them there if it's a portfolio index thing? And I started trying to weight it and thinking that, you know, there's all these tools out there where, you know, you can be going degen crazy in alts, but at the same time be hedging and risk averse and all these other instruments with the bulk of your portfolio where, you know, kind of your risk-free return is in the, you know, 15 to 20% range. And
Right.
so to me, you know, that's something that's of interest because, you know, you got to get to where you don't have 100% riding on one thing, you know,
Exactly.
and, you know, I mean, you know, I know BTC maxis, you know, I get your position, but still from a portfolio diversification standpoint, risk mitigation, you know, I'm really talking more to everybody else, you know, how you would hedge against the risk there, because BTC is almost like the index or the T-bill, the anchor in the space or the peg of the space in so many ways. I'm more talking about if you're doing stuff that's more risky, how you would want to have some stuff to protect the stack. And this seems like one of those. So even if you're holding a stack of ETH, you know, maybe you take 10% of that stack and you put it into this play so that, you know, even if the price is going down 20%, you're still going up, you know, that 14% dollar amount or the 42% ETH amount.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a sound kind of diversification play, and do that around a bunch of instruments, or, you know, construct the straddles yourself and do all that yourself, which, you know, takes time.
Absolutely.
I don't know. What do you think? What do you think?
Well, real quick, Sean said there's no such thing as one Guinness, just so you know. No, I really, you know, look, I love an algorithm and I love automation. So, and I love things that don't make me make decisions. If my only decision is to put it into something that looks pretty stable and doing pretty well in this market, I'm pretty into it. Hello?
Yeah, no, I'm here. I'm just was just dealing with a technical challenge for a second.
Niblet says, if alts tend to follow BTC charts, then is there any real diversification when you hold multiple altcoins? Well, I mean, I do think they follow, but I think there are some that are opportunities that go beyond. And you know, and
I think when I say follow, I'm talking a little bit more smoothed out long-term chart versus short-term. So, you know, the way I would characterize what Brad just said is that they're not all moving the same all the time.
Right.
So, you know, if you're going to trade, there's volatility to trade within that overall volatility.
Right.
But more of like, if you don't want to think about it a little bit, you know, this is something to do. But I don't think that you're all, you know, that I think there is plays against different altcoins. And also, what do you call an alt?
Right.
Is Aave an alt? Is Curve an alt?
No.
You know, I mean.
Well, yes.
Yeah.
They're blue chip alts. I would put them at, you know, blue chip level alts.
Exactly. So you just, you know, you exactly where I was going with that. So, you know, I think that, you know, you definitely see stuff moving in different directions there. So
yeah, Sean said a decent hedging strategy is simply to be long and short volatility at the same time rather than play the price game. The straddle can be part of that. So there you go.
Yeah. So look, if you already got the stack, then this is, long and short straddle is the way to protect that stack and perhaps take advantage of the short-term moves when they happen to rebalance those long and short positions.
Yeah.
Would be my guess. I mean, it's a sophisticated game. And, then when people can throw leverage on top of plays like that, it can get real sophisticated real fast. And, that means, either a rocket to the moon or a rocket to the head, basically. So
Niblet said, I think at the pub, Sean, would say USD is an alt. Euphoric says there are altcoins and then there are shit coins. Yeah, I agree. Although Sean thinks they're all shit coins. So, you guys will have to fight over that one. I don't know. Hey, you remember us talking about BitBoy previously?
Yeah.
Because there was some controversy about whether he'd been paid to shill some shit and then dumped on his followers, whatever. Zach XBT was, well, we're doing something wrong, Joe. Okay.
Really?
We're doing something wrong because this butthead has 1.3 million followers on fucking YouTube. Okay. All of whom think, well, not all of whom, most of whom think he is like a god, right?
Yeah.
And that he is leading them to the path of wealth with his opinions and thoughts. Now, in fairness, before I show this clip, the guy evidently has been working behind the scenes to try to get a bill in Congress for DeFi that actually gets us to some sensible levels. He doesn't expose details yet because I guess they're setting up a PAC or something. Anyway, well, during all of the SBF shit over the last couple of days, Ryan from Bankless saw a tweet from BitBoy weighing in on the discussion with Sam and said something to the effect of, it's in this clip, something to the effect of, "Dear God, if any Congress people are reading this, please know that BitBoy does not represent any of us." Right? Well, this pissed BitBoy off. So BitBoy decided to become the Alex Jones of crypto yesterday. So hopefully I have this clip loaded up correct because I just clipped it real quick.
Because that's very important.
Yes.
Guys, the fact is that what he's trying to do here, okay, he's trying to permanently censor people in crypto. We're going to be bringing Wendy on here in just a few minutes, 10:45, and she's going to explain, guys, this is not DeFi only. This is coming for Bitcoin too. Remember all the times that we said they're not going to be able to legislate against DeFi. They can't. Guess what they are? They're making it illegal. And the exchanges are involved in it, including Uncle Brian Armstrong. I look at you, Brian. Hey, Thanksgiving ain't going to be happy this year. We're not going to have a good time over the turkey this year, Brian. Brian Armstrong and Sam Bankman-Fried, the CEOs of centralized exchanges, are trying to stifle crypto innovation in America. Number one, so the elites can stay the elites. And number two, so they win. They win. And let me tell you something. First of all, I want you guys to understand, Sam Bankman-Fried is absolutely lying. I'm going to explain how we know that here in just a second. But I want this guy right here, Ryan Sean Adams. I don't know who the F you are because you're not important. But here he says, piano. Please, dear Lord, and any lawmakers or adults reading this tweet, just know BitBoy doesn't represent us either. Talk to Jay Stravinsky. Talk to Miller CWL. Talk to Coin Center. You know what? We are tired of people that look like this guy trying to run stuff. I don't represent the people. The fuck I don't. I'm the one who does. It's me. I'm the one out here putting the work in behind the scenes, trying to save crypto while these devils, Sam Bankman-Fried, Brian Armstrong, they're trying to permanently ruin it. This is not about money for me. I hope you guys understand this. I am here fighting for you. This guy with these freaking glasses on, this douchebag, is out here trying to tell you that only the suits know what to do. Only the suits, only the people who have all the money, they're the ones who can determine what happens. No, our bill is for the people. And you're going to find this out. We've got the funding for it, and it's coming out.
Okay. I just wanted to share a little bit of that with everybody.
Wait,
That's
wait.
our.
So let me ask a question. What bill is he representing?
He's got. He claims. I actually subjected myself to another 20 minutes of that shit. He claims, and look, I don't want to dismiss him because anybody that's behind the scenes lobbying Congress members, and hopefully with something that makes sense and is intelligent, and he claims to have people on board with whatever the bill is that they're framing out. He doesn't disclose in the interview what the bill is, just that there was something that happened with the lobbying team at Sam Bankman-Fried's group, and they contacted him about the bill they were working on and asked to collaborate. Then they took the bill and took pieces of his bill word for word and put it into their language that they posted over the last couple of days for the bill that they're pushing forward that creates blacklists and that's pissing off all of DeFi. Anyway, I don't want to badmouth him, but to me, the irony of him going off at Ryan for saying, please don't look at BitBoy as our representative, and his response is this.
That's exactly why
we don't want
Congress looking at BitBoy as our representative. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah. So he's a bit crazy, but point I wanted to make to you is 1.3 million fucking followers, subscribers on YouTube.
Well, you're
doing it wrong, Joe. It's time to fucking scream and yell.
Yeah,
man.
but look, I have a feeling that this type of and again, I don't want to pick. I'm not trying to turn BitBoy. Was that his name, BitBoy? Against me, but there's a lot of angry people out there in general. I mean, you see it across the political spectrum. Across the ethnic spectrum, across the monetary spectrum. I mean, and I guess if you can find people that are pissed off all the time, and if you piss them off, I guess more, that's what people want. I kind of hope that's peaking a little bit. I feel like it's peaked, and
you're right,
that kind of like inflammatory trolling to get attention. I don't know, or to speak to people with it.
It pays his bills.
Hell yeah, in a huge way. I'm sure the guy's probably making $7 million a year or something off it.
He's got a custom studio. He's got staff. He doesn't fucking do anything but stand in front of the mic and talk. Kind of reminds me of you. No.
Yeah. No, I know. That's kind of, I don't really prepare much. I mean, for these talks.
You do some research work.
I mean, I do research, but I like the conversation to kind of freewheel it. There's no script in front of me. But I guess it's entertainment. People want to be entertained, and some people like that. But it's on one hand, 1.4 million sounds like a lot, but there's a lot of people on this planet.
Yeah, no, I mean, of the DeFi market, though, that's a significant number, right? Yeah. That's a significant number. Anyway, Niblet said, Jesus fucking Christ. Heyman said, JFC, this bro has some anger management issues. James said, haven't seen his bill stuff, but he is notorious for promoting scams and dumping on followers. He's a cancer in crypto. And Heyman said, please, no screaming, please. So he doesn't want us to start screaming.
Yeah, I can't take it. I can't take it.
Sean said, Kobe has this fucker nailed. I do think I remember a tweet thread from Kobe about this, but I'm not sure. And Niblet says, how many of those 1.3 million are Chinese SIM cards for hire? Well, look, yeah. I actually, when you look at the engagement levels on his videos, it's pretty good, right? So he's making some ad dollars. He's got the affiliate programs going. He's selling a book, whatever. The guy's making money. Now, that said, what I did notice, I mean, we'll just open book our show discussion here, but what I did notice was that there's a lot of material on his channel about specific strategies. The thumbnails are all sensationalized, but if you look at what the content's about, it is, taking users through how to do this particular investment on this particular protocol. Right. And so, and that's something we've talked about for a while. So I think I think what he attracts is people who are trying to get rich or trying to make money in this business, everybody, and gets folks who are less sophisticated strategically or from a strategies perspective. But, anyway, I have heard over and over again, Zach XBT and others saying, you know, he has dumped on his followers, that he has pumped coins in the past and dumped on them. I don't have any verification of that. I did watch a video where he denied everything, but anyway.
Well, look, it kind of seems like the model, all right? But at the same time, if he is on, if people are coming into crypto because of him, then, you know, maybe it is a necessary evil. I don't.
Sean reminded us, this is what we talked about him on the show about. He's the guy who threatened to sue a Twitter user, and then Kobe sent the guy 100 grand. Remember that, for his defense?
That's right. Yeah.
And so then BitBoy pulled the action. That's right. That's right. So anyway, I just thought that was funny as shit. Really.
Yeah. I mean, look, obviously he's trying to, you know, he has his herd or whatever there that follows him, that, you know, he's making money off of that. I mean, that's his business model. How he does that, you know, I think there's different methods of different modus operandi on that. You know, is it through, you know, shared advancement, or is it through, like, you know, people have said, you know, pumping and dumping, basically, you know, on your followers? And to me, that's kind of the difference. Because I see a lot of these economists coming out of these banks and houses that just crank out content constantly and don't really respond much, but it's data on facts that you can use in other ways. And I see that model, and, you know, and they don't have 1.2 million, but, you know, these guys have 500,000, 700, you know, maybe 1 million plus followers, but they're not screaming at people, you know, and they're not like, and they're not rarely jumping in into a comment, but other people will say things. And to me, you know, they're monetizing that position by just being a person who's known to, you know, speak some truth, I guess, or put out objective data. And so I think that's one way. But, you know, again, different levels. You know, not everybody's interested in, like, you know, the trade balance data on Turkey and Russia right now. Yeah, you know, they don't give a shit. But, you know, it's like, what they do give a shit about is, you know, grinding it out, wanting to make some money and wanting to advance themselves. So I think that him speaking to that audience, although it's not really my preferred style, it probably has some value to the crypto community.
Sure. James Strickland said, yes, exactly. Defamation lawsuits for shitposting, lol. And speaking of that, Hodlonaut wins a Norwegian lawsuit against Satoshi fraud Craig Wright. This was a strategic play by Hodlonaut. Is it Hodlonaut? Hodlonaut. I've always said Hodlonaut in my head. I've never actually said it out loud. This is a strategic play by him. Evidently, I don't know if this has to do with EU legal system or whatever. The goal was to file this suit to stop Wright by winning in Norway, which would prevent him in some way from going after Hodlonaut in other European countries, right? In the UK. So, because in the UK, the defamation laws are heavily tipped in favor of the plaintiff, and the monetary damages can be enormous. So evidently stopping him here in some way, I don't know how the legal system works, but in some way prevents him, Wright, from going after him in the UK. I'd read an article on that previously, but nobody gave us any details on it. But essentially the judge was like, well, you actually are a fraud and a scammer. Said, you're basically lying, and put on your big boy pants. This is fucking Twitter. You're going to get shit posting. And then pointed out Craig Wright's own shit posting on Twitter, calling other people names, cucks and everything else. So glad to see it. Glad to see that.
Well, you know, it just seems like people can, you know, the Craig Wright, you know, if we're going to, like, talk a little smack about BitBoy, I mean, you know, this guy just pales. Everybody else pales in comparison to this guy. Just the outlandish friggin', I can't figure out if this guy is just batshit fucking crazy, delusional, or what, you know?
Well, now his attorneys are trying to pull out the on the spectrum defense. So that when he's getting slapped for lying to the courts or falsifying evidence, they have recently started pulling out that he's autistic, and that is the reason he does such a bad job of I don't know, communicating, keeping track of the evidence, whatever. But it's like, dude, how many times are you going to submit false testimony and false data to courts in this country, U.S. courts, in the world, U.S. courts, Norwegian courts, wherever, you know, before you fucking, somebody tells you to sit down and shut the fuck up.
Yeah,
You
well,
know?
look, that also, look, I mean, that also calls into question then, would you enact that defense, which is not going to hold, of course, and say that, oh, the shit my client says, he just says it because he's autistic? You know, then doesn't that just call into question every single statement that the guy's
Yeah.
ever made?
Yeah. So do we believe anything you say?
Yeah. And so that means every representation he's made to the court has been a lie.
Yeah.
Because everything he says is not true. I mean, it's like, it's a stupid defense. I mean,
It
we
is.
get it, you know, autistic.
Well, they're probably trying to keep him out of jail for fucking
shooting off his mouth.
Well, no, what's God, my fucking brain. I need more sleep. Lying in court.
Perjury.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, so, but you know, it doesn't look, man, if that's your problem, then your lawyer should not be letting you get on the stand or representing anything, you know?
Exactly.
I mean, I just don't get why this goes on. I almost feel like the lawyers are manipulating people sometimes. I mean, we've talked about this before.
Well, yeah.
In brilliant inventor, and I'm not saying he is, but just saying, you know, we look at all these brilliant inventor types out there that are somewhere on the spectrum a little bit, all the way. And I kind of think everybody is a little bit.
Yeah. Definitely.
You know, you got to surround yourselves with the boring people that, you know, unfortunately hold you back a little bit, but keep you out of saying and doing, you know, because you don't want to administer shit or manage shit. That's the worst possible job in the whole company. You want to be out setting vision and coming up with great ideas over 3-hour lunches and doing that type of job. You don't want to be like filling out expense reports. So surround yourself with people that will do that for you and make them loyal, and then you will stay out of trouble. But that's any entrepreneur, not just on the spectrum people. It's, you know, so I just find this bad for the whole space.
Definitely. Found a new tool. I haven't had time to dive into it deeply, but it's at twitter.defi.org. And it is a Twitter kind of, not, I wouldn't call it a sentiment rating tool yet, at least not from what I've seen of it, but it tells you what are the popular hashtags, what coins are getting popular cash tagged, who's getting mentioned the most, and popular URLs that are being posted in DeFi Twitter. So really, really kind of a cool tool to go through and find shit for you and me in terms of finding stories and shit. Should be really interesting because, you know, it's just, this is kind of a sentiment analysis of the media that is getting coverage and people are retweeting and tweeting on Twitter. What's crypto for speed and why? That was one of the top ones. What's the top one? Let's see what the top one is. Oh, this is going to a Telegram group. Never mind. Cheese swap news. Anyway, very interesting. It's going to be interesting to kind of track it. Solana's #1 right now in hashtags. Ugh, this is brutal. NFT giveaway #2, Doge #4, Solana NFT, Dogecoin, Polygon. I don't know if it'll ultimately be completely useful, but it certainly gives some interesting insights. Oh, and you click on the coin and it'll tell you what tweets come out about that coin recently, which is cool.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah. So that's pretty awesome.
I like that cash tag.
Yeah. So anyway, cool little tool. You know, here are tweets without retweets, I guess, that are popular. That's crazy. And then tweets by verified users probably gives you a little bit better quality of data that's being covered here.
Wait, tweets without retweets. Okay, so what would be, so that's one, tweets that have just go out and there's no retweet at all? Or is it that there's a whole bunch of likes and
I don't know if they have an about down here.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious what that means.
They don't tell you. They don't tell you.
Okay.
But this one I like because this one is only by verified users, right? So you can reduce the noise in the signal a little bit because this is going to be by people that most likely have a reputation to protect. You know, so it's interesting. Like the top story is Interpol launches first global police in the metaverse. Why the future of open source is AI. Talking about the 0.75 future interest rate SBF regulator. This is interesting. Oh, this is Wrecked doing a point about SBF and regulation. Anyway, cool tool. Thought everybody might want to be able to make use of it. So you can
What
get
is
that
it?
at twitter.defi.org. It's called, I guess, twitter.defi.org.
Yeah.
Yesterday's top mentions, top URLs. So it's pretty cool. Weekly top mentions and URLs and mentions. So very cool.
Nice. I'm just trying to see real-time tweets about DeFi by everyone on Twitter, excluding annoying bots and retweets. Okay.
Yeah. So I guess they claim
like an organic sort of tweet, basically.
right.
It's not coming from a bot and it's not a retweet. So from original message content creator, I guess.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I like this. Good job, dude.
It's why I'm here, Joe. This is huge news, and it didn't get a ton of coverage. But let me tell you, Plaid is the #1 tool used by developers all over the world in hundreds of thousands of fintech applications to connect your bank account or your credit card or your debit card to financial applications. It's used everywhere. It is the #1 thing. And Plaid is launching its first crypto integration. They're integrating 300 wallets into the Plaid application. Not only is this big news for onboarding new users, but this should scare the shit out of people who are making money off of that gateway at the wallet level. MetaMask, Robbie, anybody else that's playing in the wallet space, because right now they're the gateway to the wallet, but it's very likely that as demand grows in the fintech space for more crypto integration, Plaid launches a wallet, right? I mean, it just makes complete sense. And then you're cutting everybody else downstream out of that revenue flow from swaps that Plaid was getting. They may not go that far because they are supposed to be an API-based tool, right? So they may not go that far to a full wallet, but they may release wallet functionality so any app can have a wallet in their app, right? So now they are not the wallet, but they are providing the infrastructure that provides the wallet, the code that provides the wallet. So this is huge news for the potential to onboard new users, especially in a down market for the SaaS world, which is actually hurting right now. And fintech companies looking for new revenue streams, right? They may see crypto opportunities as a way to onboard it and to get more users in. So this could drive a lot more users into DeFi. What that ends up looking like is going to be up to the developers at these fintech platforms and SaaS platforms. But the other side of this is this opens the door for every protocol in DeFi to easily onboard users via their bank account into your application, right? So now you can expose the functionality to connect your bank account and deposit crypto into my protocol, right? So this has the potential to do huge things for all of DeFi. It's not getting the coverage I expected it would get something like this. Plaid is absolutely a pivotal, huge player in the consumer financial markets, also used in business, but primarily consumer financial, retail, traders, fintech, accounting systems, that kind of stuff. So this to me is a really huge story.
So when they say when I saw that at first, and it said 300 wallets, I was sort of like, oh, what? But then I realized one of those wallets would be like MetaMask, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Clever.
Exactly.
That wallet. Okay, yeah. So that is very cool. Someone like walleting the wallets.
And here's what they said. This is the start of Plaid's journey of bridging Web 2 and Web 3 worlds, right? This puts Plaid in the driver's seat of what you and I always talk about, right? Which is getting those users who are already managing their money in some application somewhere into crypto. Well, this is the first step. And I got to believe that they're going to get more aggressive as this progresses. Now,
is Plaid like a PayPal? Is Plaid like a PayPal?
No.
Okay.
No. Let's say you're building an application for tracking your money or trading stocks or whatever, right? And you want your users, I mean, they have other features, don't get me wrong, but the core of Plaid is you want your users to be able to connect their bank account to your application, right?
Okay.
So if you've ever logged into an app and needed to connect your bank account and a little pop-up that came up that said, okay, what's your bank? You picked Bank of America. And then it popped up and said, what's your username and password? And you could log into your bank account and connect it to that application. That was Plaid. Plaid, that's what Plaid does. Plaid is the gateway between application developers and bank accounts. And so it allows for ACH, it allows for wire transfers, it allows for connecting to anything in your bank account. And so that's what they do. And they are used behind the scenes by, you know, shit tons of applications. So they're
so
huge.
What you're saying is that this is another nice new fiat to crypto on-ramp that appears to be popping up.
Biggest. It is the biggest ever. It is absolutely nothing can get close to this. All of the other providers who's been doing the fiat on-ramp thing that weren't using Plaid, you know, that their hopes of penetrating the rest of the market are pretty slim at this point because Plaid's the standard. Plaid is the gold standard for integrating bank accounts into financial applications.
Well, and also look, because you're doing it off your phone a lot too, because it's a mobile app, I'm presuming mostly. And so we talk about KYC and AML and that you already did it with your phone.
Look at this right here. Right here.
Yeah.
They have an identity verification product already. So what do? You bundle that in. Now you've got KYC. Boom. Now the banks don't even have to fucking do it, right? Because Plaid is utilizing the identity capabilities from the bank already and providing it to developers. Now developers don't have to do it. This is huge note. This is huge news. Sean said, to be honest, I had not even noticed that we had a Web 2.0. You don't remember MySpace, Sean?
Yeah, you came right after Guinness 3.0.
What was that first web builder? What was that first web builder that was out in like 2001? Oh, shit. Oh, I can't remember it. But dude, you got to remember the old days. I mean, it was painful, Web 1. Painful. I mean, it was exciting then, but remember trying to watch any videos in like 2002 or 2003? Angel Fire. Thank you, Niblets. Beautiful. God, Niblets is just, he is the smart one, man. GeoCities. That's the other one I was trying to think of. Definitely GeoCities. Yeah. Yeah. Those rudimentary white. Oh, look at him go. The fuck. How about, what was the web development software that Microsoft bought? That was the first WYSIWYG website builder. I'll wait for you, Niblets. Anyway, this is huge news. Huge fucking news.
Yeah, and also look at this when it says, quote, so how do we do privacy preserving identity verification for developer and user while not revealing actual personally identifiable information? So look, to me, when we talk about like the Colorado co-op structure, you know, the analog version of, you know, anonymity in a corporate register or co-op register or on site somewhere. It seems to me like this is kind of a digital version of almost a similar thing, like that you are getting all of that privacy preserving but then if, you know, you ran a bad thing in a protocol, then you could get doxxed, let's say.
Right.
So to me, I think this is, again, another example of trying to find that ideal balance.
Yep.
I think this is a huge.
Look, Venmo uses them, Truebill uses them, Acorns uses them, Samsung uses them. I mean,
wow.
Yeah, this is the standard. This is the one. This is.
Look at Euphoric. What Euphoric said.
What?
Euphoric.
My crypto bank WireX uses Plaid, and getting funds from DeFi into my fiat account is seamless. Yeah, it's phenomenal. Niblets, no, ding bong.
Publisher.
Front Page was the software I used to build websites after HTML, raw HTML code. And Microsoft
I used Publisher for like business planning documents and stuff. It was kind of like
Publisher was like build a brochure, lay out your documents, that kind of stuff. I forgot about Publisher. That's interesting.
Remember the difference back then.
WireX is actually very cool. Let's take a look at WireX. Thank you, Euphoric.
No, remember back then, if you put images into like a Microsoft Word doc, you had to actually physically tab the words, because the image wouldn't just move through the words. It would only do that on Publisher back then. Now, of course, it does it in Word.
Okay. Yeah. This is Wirex.
What is
This is what Euphoric uses as his crypto bank. Basically, it's a debit card connected to your crypto account. I'm assuming you have to store your crypto on there. It's custodial. Is it custodial, Euphoric? Yeah, I bet it's custodial, but it doesn't say. Anyway, I thought that was very cool. I think that's big news. I don't want anybody to sleep on that. I think that's really, really important news. So, clean energy is on its way. Rolls-Royce unveiled its luxury EV.
Yeah, I sent that to you. I thought your wife would be interested.
Shit, yeah, she's
the electric one, of course. Yeah,
she needs to get to work. Euphoric said yes, it's custodial. So this was interesting though. Clean energy has a tipping point, and 87 countries have reached it, which is 5% renewable energy. So that gets us to, let me see if I can find it.
What about that Solana room thing in Wynwood?
Yeah. Let me pull that up.
Solana Spaces.
Yeah. A16Z wants us to regulate apps like browsers, not protocols, which is a fucking train wreck along with everything else. But that's where he wants to have the censorship happen, is at protocol level. The FBI agents that did the Silk Road investigations have launched their own firm called Naxo, dedicated to the cutting edge of crypto tracking. But nobody should give them the fucking money because Ross is still in prison. Not like China. Hong Kong reportedly wants to legalize crypto trading.
Yeah, I thought this was interesting. Just my work experience in Hong Kong, and of course getting gobbled up by mainland China over the last couple of years. But still, I think it kind of fits into that thesis of mine of these crypto hubs: London, Switzerland, Singapore. And if you got Singapore, you got to have Hong Kong. It just fits into the whole trading and financial center ethos of that city. And of course, China has to go along with it. But, Macau is there for the gambling, and that's sort of against the rules.
Except evidently Macau is getting devastated right now because it's still closed up.
Oh, yeah, because of COVID. Yeah. COVID over there. I don't know. I just think it'd be nice. Hong Kong was always,
but is the Chinese government going to let them get away with this?
Well, that's the point. That's kind of what I tweeted about, as I said.
Yeah.
Are they? But look, it's kind of like, Plaid in a way. It's sort of like a, fiat to crypto on-ramp, or on-ramp to crypto for, say, Chinese mainland citizens that don't do crypto in mainland China. I mean, that's why Hong Kong existed for all these years. That's what it did, just in the fiat world. So, to me, I think the way it works is, as long as the government's got their piece, their taste, then they don't usually seem to care. As long as, they're not out parading out all over mainland China what they're doing. I mean, I'm not trying to I guess it's all mainland China to them, but, I think that there's different messaging loops that go on,
It says the latest news comes amid Hong Kong on October 19th launching a $3.8 billion fund to attract foreign businesses back to the city after a massive talent exodus prompted by strict lockdowns and tense political climate. Do they really think? I mean, what kind of ad are you going to fucking run to get people to base their business in Hong Kong? I mean, I don't know. I
haven't been there in the last couple of years, but
no, I'm just talking about the headlines have been for 2 years straight. COVID lockdowns, beating down protesters, violating freedoms. I mean, frankly, you better have a damn good reason to be launching your business there, because you're going to face friggin' pressure, right? Because I mean, look, at the end of the day, you're going to a place that doesn't respect individual freedom. And so,
Yeah, look, the competition to Hong Kong is always Singapore. All right. So you have to think that's, they're looking at how to attract businesses back. Then how do you do that? No taxes, of course. That's the first one. But you're right. It is a tough one. It's a tough one to sell. But Hong Kong, to a lot of people, has it has a brand,
Right.
and that's been there for quite a while, in different ways. So I think it would be nice. It would seem like it'd be an attractive thing for them to do. Who knows if Beijing is going to allow it? There was the big fight in China. When I was going there a lot, it was about Shanghai versus Hong Kong. They were moving the whole Hong Kong financial sector up into Shanghai. And so, but they didn't take it to Beijing, which is kind of interesting, because the big rival between Shanghaiese and Beijing Hua, or whatever, I can't remember what the Peking Hua, or whatever the phrase is for Beijing person. Those rivalries, they're not, unified. Those are huge rivalries. Yeah. So to me, I think that maybe there is an angle for it there. I don't know.
Well, look, I mean, I can see something virtually, like Sean just told us that BitMEX is launching spot trading launch spot trading in Hong Kong on the 19th with approval, but no derivatives. So I can see doing something like that virtually. Hey, come sign up for our shit. But I wouldn't put any humans there, and I wouldn't base my business on anything that comes out of there, because you can't trust the Chinese government not to fuck you. I mean, that's the bottom line. And Niblet said, telling Jack Ma how much money he's allowed to make. Yeah, there are good reasons to avoid. Sean's the Amber Group is headquartered there. Do you know what that is? I don't know what that is. No idea.
But there's
Sean,
lots of groups headquartered there. Yeah.
But frankly, I'm not in a position.
Well, it shows you how hard it is that they're committing $3.8 billion into basically economic development dollars.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, most places you don't have to pay people to come. You go up and say, okay, no taxes.
Yeah.
And people show up, but if you got to go like promote it, it tells you there's something wrong.
Sean said it's a large crypto fund, Amber Group. Okay. No. Look, they want to throw $1 million my way. I'll open a Mission DeFi office there.
He sells out pretty quick after his big talk there.
I'm not gonna fucking base anything there, and I may show up once a year, but I'll take $1 million to have.
Well, I mean, when the times when I was going there all the time, I mean, there were still, there were Chinese government folk there. I mean, you went through the airports and stuff, but it was very hands off.
I was in Macau in 20.
I'm talking about Hong Kong. I'm not talking about Macau.
I know. I'm just thinking about Macau because it's close.
Yeah, no, I remember you going on that trip. That was actually when we first kind of met.
Left my phone in a cab.
Yeah, that's what they.
No, I really did leave my fucking.
Oh yeah, I know. I
was running down the street at the.
All that stripper glitter clogs those bones.
No, in Macau, it was like I was so fucking exhausted there. I had to get up and do a presentation and speech for that project I was advising, and then I was just beat. I didn't go anywhere. I didn't do anything. It was just,
you speed in and out. Yeah. No, Hong Kong is more fun, or at least it was, because there's so much to do in that city. It's kind of like a grittier version of Singapore. But I always enjoyed Singapore more because, well, not on every aspect, but in a lot of aspects, yes. But it's Hong Kong. Had that edgy vibe that I like. That you see in like New York.
Sean says a bit like Dubai. It's a fun city if you close your eyes and hold your nose to the actions of the government.
Yeah. But look, put me in Lugano, Switzerland, any day over any of these places, or put me on the beach in Thailand.
There you go.
One of those two.
I think we're about ready to wrap it up. South Korean prosecutors say reports of Do Kwon's stopover in Dubai is not false.
I don't think they have extradition. They don't have extradition.
It just cracks me up. Not false.
Yeah. It should be like not false.
Hey, if you're not following at Lex_node on Twitter, you should be. Or go check out my crypto legal list. He's on there along with some others. Really a great way to stay on track and see sensible, smart, informed opinions about the regulatory situation for crypto and DeFi everywhere, but especially the US. Surprise. TikTok's China-based parent company ByteDance planned to use the TikTok app to track the physical location of specific American citizens, according to materials reviewed by Forbes. We're all just surprised by that, aren't we? There you go.
Yeah,
There's
I
your
guess I gotta
Solana
be chasing
embassy.
around a bunch of 12-year-old girls running around like at birthday parties and stuff. I mean, who the hell is using TikTok that we know?
I don't know. Solana Spaces. This is the Solana embassy
Mhm.
in Miami. Joe'd like to make a field trip over there. Maybe we could do a show from there. That'd be pretty funny.
I was kind of thinking about that too, just in the sense
Yeah.
that we never really do anything about them
Yeah.
for
Well,
obvious reasons. Just read the comments below it. It's like,
well, they're
hey,
investing.
do the lights and power go off whenever the network goes down?
I mean, here's their problem. Their brand is one now of a network that's grown, has good NFT skills, has speed, et cetera, et cetera. But their brand is now known as one that has to be rebooted every, couple of months. And their response to that is, we're going to build a phone and we're building Solana embassies around the world. And it's like, hey, maybe a little bit of that money could go to hiring some devs to stabilize your chain. Maybe.
Yeah, just thinking, just
Yeah.
throwing that out. Some
don't get me wrong.
high-powered strategy advice for you.
The place looks nice. I used to, Wynwood's nice. It's beautiful there and all that good shit. But
well, what I thought was intriguing, Brad, is that it basically has, you can walk in there like this dude right here. He's basically setting up a wallet, and they have cards. You write your seed phrase down on a card, so they're onboarding people.
Yeah.
So to me, we always talk about this, like, the ideal example being like a Starbucks chain, let's say.
Yeah.
But this is more like the Apple Store concept to me.
Yeah.
And, I actually like it for the onboarding thing. I don't know how you.
Yeah, but how do you attract people that don't know what the fuck Solana is or even understand it you're only going to get people that are Solana fans or people that are in DeFi.
Unless you can attract people under just want to know crypto or something.
Yeah.
Or
now, this is pretty cool. This giant screen is data transactions happening on the Solana network, which is cool. That's pretty cool. It's live, like, animated, pretty cool shit. So, and I think it's a touch screen. Cool. Yeah, I think it's a touch screen, so you can like touch on a transaction and see what happened in it on that little square down below. And, the other thing is, if you're looking for co-working space, you need a place to hang out every day and get free Wi-Fi. It says literally in the tweets, come in and hang out all day as long as you want. Like, so you don't have to
Do they serve coffee?
They serve coffee.
Juice bar?
What did they say? Coffee locally roasted by the members of the Degen Ape Academy. I don't know. This is the lounge. You can hang out in this lounge or this lounge all day long if you want. Suck up their Wi-Fi and coffee, If you pay with FTX wallet or Solana Pay, you get 50% off merch. I do like this not going to make it hat. I would probably wear that. So.
Oh, yeah, I like that one. Yeah, that's a good hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, look, it has to be about an experience that's not, say, oh, it's one of these blockchains out there. It has to be like just the Solana experience, and then the infrastructure is DeFi, crypto, NFTs, all of that, and sell the experience. And if you can get away with that, frame that in the marketplace, I mean, it's kind of interesting because you don't really have to break through a bunch of clutter because there's nobody, people are going to think of this as the Apple Store.
Exactly.
Thing. So, and then they got the other stuff coming. I think, I'm not a Solana fan, but I like the play.
All right. Well, I'm glad you do. I think it's a distraction, but look, if it onboards a few people, that's cool. It's
yeah,
good.
Exactly. I mean, again, I don't own any Solana, never have. Yeah. No, I did actually own Solana at one point. So.
I have some a little bit somewhere. Somewhere. We'll get this to tomorrow. Renium is a climate action DeFi project. I haven't looked into it, but we'll definitely get into it. Oh, PancakeSwap, the next network is Aptos is where they're deploying. So that's interesting. Anyway, let's wrap it up, Joe.
All right, buddy.
Folks, thank you so much for participating. Niblets, Sean, Euphoric, Eamon, James Strickland, all of y'all. We appreciate you. We love you. Shizzy, thanks for hanging out. Guys, we will see you on Monday. And we hope everyone has a wonderful and safe weekend. If you like what we're doing, please rate and review us on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, wherever you get your podcast feed. If you're watching us on YouTube, please don't hesitate to subscribe and click the little bell so you get notified when new episodes come out. Everything that we post and do is on missiondefi.com, all episodes past and current, as well as join our Reddit at r/missiondefi. We're discussing anything and everything DeFi and anything and everything in the NFT crypto space. Thank you very much for participating and watching today. Joe, have a great weekend.
Yeah, thanks everyone. You have a great weekend too, Brad. Stay out of trouble. I don't want to get any more calls at 2 a.m. to bail you out of jail. So
well, I'm not hanging out with you, so I should be okay.
All right, man. Have a good weekend, and the rest of the DeFi Lunch crew, you as well. All right, be safe, everyone.
Sean ship-bombed a comment at the last minute there.
I
Still is a shit one for sure, but it should outrun ETH next market. People are goldfish; they will forget the restarts.
I love it. Just multiple loops of passive-aggressive behavior in that whole tweet. That's just perfect.
Love you, Sean.
All right, have fun, man.
Take care.